Hi vinyl community, it's been too long. I needed a break. It's not you, it's me. Still love you, don't worry. Can we just pick up where we left off? Me showing some records. I've been buying a lot in the last 2-3 months, whenever it was I last posted a video. Since then, yeah, it's been plenty of record fairs, a few trips to record shops. I've got too much to show in one video. I'll spread these out a little bit. What I thought I'd do is just show you stuff I've picked up in record fairs and in a recent car boot sale. I won't go into a huge amount of detail because most of these are pretty new to me, new to the collection, so I haven't had a chance to play them, really fully digest them. I've played them, but that's about it so far, so you're not going to get detailed reviews here, that's for sure. I'll start off with what I guess is a grail, that overused term, but if by grail you mean something that's really rare and costs quite a bit, I guess this qualifies. It does throw out the question of why would I spend money on an original copy of this album when I had a really good reissue? But then sometimes a record comes along at a price where you just think, I'd be stupid to pass that up. And so it was with this one. Twinks Think Pink. Came out in 1970. This is a UK original on the Polydor label. And you can see there's a bit of sleeve damage, a bit of a price sticker removal tear there. But that is the only damage on this record. The record itself is pretty much mint. I mean, that is as close to perfect as you're going to find. And unusually, this came with the original insert, which apparently is pretty much always missing in copies of this album. And that's a bit light creasing, but that's about it. So I went to my local record fair, not the intention of picking up an album of this kind of rarity. Wasn't even on my want list because, like I say, I already had a really good reissue of it. But when something's offered to you at a price that you really would be a fool to walk away from, I had to get it. Now, I'll put up on screen a screenshot of the Discogs sales history of this record. I paid much closer to the lowest price this has ever sold for on Discogs than to the average median price. So yeah, I couldn't walk away. In this condition, you'd normally be expecting to pay 500 quid and up. So very happy to have that. And at this same record fair, I bumped into a guy called Jake. You more than likely seen his videos on the vinyl community. He does videos of his granddad under the name the Vinyl Hunters. So he had a stall there, and I showed him this, and he was suitably jealous. But he did tell me that he just picked up a copy of the Dr. Z album on the Vertigo Swirl, which I believe he's now done a video on. So he'd paid 1,500 quid for that, so I feel like I got an absolute bargain with this one. And this is a better album, so there you go. So that was the big buy from my local record fair. Then I went to the huge record fair that they have at the horticultural halls in Victoria in central London. When was that? Last weekend, I guess. And again, spent far too much money. Still, I got a really good bunch of stuff for my cash. First thing I saw when I walked in was a copy of this, which I already have, but my copy really doesn't play great. And this was only 8 quid, and it plays like a dream. It's a really nice copy. This was a prog band that featured Brian Eno and Phil Manzanera from Roxy Music. And it's a really, really great prog album. Not going to say much more about it. It's largely instrumental. It's got quite a lot of sort of
a jazz sort of influence on the prog sound, and I really like it. I love that cover art as well. So £8, another bargain. Added to my Edgar Broughton Band collection with an original UK pressing on Harvest of Inside Out, with the slightly confusing gimmick sleeve, which has all these kind of panels which kind of open out and kind of don't. And it's a top loader, so it's one of these records. I imagine a lot of copies ended up with the sleeves completely trashed, with people trying to shove the records in where they're not supposed to go. But again, this is in beautiful condition. Original in a sleeve in there, and then I've got it in a replacement sleeve just to keep things nice and clean. But as you can see, another really clean bit of vinyl there. That lovely Harvest label. I love the Edgar Broughton Band. This is, I guess, a more straightforward album, some of theirs. More straight ahead rock. But I'm looking forward to exploring this one more. Probably prefer their slightly more psychedelic earlier efforts. But great one to have. I picked up a copy of this, which most of you probably think, well, what's taking you so long? I'll tell you what took me so long. I've had this on CD for years and I've barely played it, because sometimes there's something about having something on CD, it just doesn't connect. And all I could really remember about this album was hating these kind of doo-wop elements on it. Now I've got it on vinyl, I've played it. There's only really one track that features that kind of doo-wop sound. And you know, Zapper was always doing his kind of piss take pastiches. So it's not an issue. And the rest of the album is absolutely blinding. I love it. Such a good album. But then you know that, and it's me who's playing catch up here. So very happy to have that one. This was from a stall holder who I know that George Pryor has bought stuff off him before at Spitalfields Record Fair, and he's the guy who always has his records in plastic sleeves with kind of a flag of where the record was pressed on the front, and all his records were half the marked price. So I think I paid £25 for an early copy of this. I haven't done my homework to find out how early, but it's a UK Verve pressing, again in beautiful nick, plays like a dream. So £25 for a double Frank Zappa album, can't go wrong really, can you? Then the same VIP record fair in Victoria, I saw this in a box marked everything £10, and I thought, yep, I'm adding that to my McCartney collection, because you do not see this one. This came out in 1993, I think. Yeah. So there weren't too many copies pressed on vinyl. This goes for quite a lot of money, and I got it for £10. And again, you know, a few marks on the sleeve there, but the actual vinyl is pristine. And I probably never figured I'd ever pick this one up. It's not McCartney's greatest album, but he's never really done a bad album. So really good one there. At another stall, I picked up 3 albums. This one, Socialising with Angel Pavement, which is one of these sort of Morgan Bluetown reissues. I don't know whether this ever got a release back in the day, or whether they were one of those bands who just put out a lot of singles and never a full album. I haven't read the liner notes, so I should probably do my homework. But this is some really good quality British, slightly baroque pop psych. You can hear certainly Beatles elements in here, a bit of The Move perhaps, a bit of the Bee Gees, the Left Bank, all those kind of influences. So right up my street. Should probably have been a well-known band. And this is a really good introduction to the band, or perhaps it's the only stuff available by the band. I'm not sure. It came with a bonus 7-inch single as well, which I've yet to play, but the album's great. Same stall, I picked up a copy of The Hook Will Grab You, which was The Hook's first album of 2, I think. I think I'm right in saying that. Love that cover art. I've never seen this in a while before. They were a US band, so copies of this don't really turn up over on this side of the pond too often. But it's a really good listen. quite heavy psych on that beautiful uni label. So I got that for a good price. Forget how much now, but 20 quid or so. And same stall, I got a copy of Whiskey Woman by Duke in Bone. Some interesting artwork there. Really nice bit of kind of slightly boogyish at times, hard rock. Really enjoyable listen. It's on the very flexible RCA Victor Dynaflex label. I think that's 15 quid, one I've been after for quite a while. So that's going to get a lot more plays because I really enjoyed it on my first listen. Then there was another stall where they had box after box after box of albums where they were £5 each or 5 for 20 quid. So it seems stupid to get any less than 5, so I paid 4 quid each for these. The only album by Hydra that I didn't have. Love the other two. This one just doesn't seem to turn up very often. For 4 quid is a no-brainer. And this is a really superior example of bluesy hard rock. It's kind of got that kind of trapeze, Bad Company sort of feel to it. Really strong songs, brilliant musicianship. Really such a good album. I mean, the cover doesn't do an awful lot to inspire. It's a fairly insipid looking live shot, but a great band. They were, I think, from the southern states in the US. And there are sort of southern rock elements, but it's definitely more of that kind of almost British blues rock to me. Really good stuff, commercial British blues rock. Then this is an album I already owned, but not a Japanese pressing with the Obi strip. And it is one of my favourite Cheap Trick albums, amongst many. And 4 quid. Absolutely could not pass it up. And it comes, as well as the Obi strip, it's got the original inserts. We'll get those out. Okay, so that's the original inner sleeve. And the insert, usual Japanese lyrics, and a kind of mock signed Rick Nielsen note to the Japanese fans there. So, love this album. Great to have a Japanese pressing. Perhaps I'll get rid of my UK pressing now. Perhaps not. And they also had Grand Funk's live album. Original Japanese pressing, double album. Fantastic nick. Does this come with inserts? Yes, it does. We've got here, got a whole bunch of them. No idea what that is. The lyric sheet. And ooh, what's this? This must be a poster. Yeah, it'd be better if it's a poster of the album sleeve, to be honest, but can't complain. 4 quid for that. Again, it's an album I already had, but my copy's a little bit ropey. This is a much better copy, and to be honest, it's quite a bootleg sounding album anyway. It was put out, I think, just as a stopgap, and is a very raw but exciting sounding album. Certainly not released for its pristine audio clarity, but a great live album. You can hear from the crowd response just what a massive band Grand Funk were at the time. Now to some I bought, or a couple I bought this weekend in fact, at a West London boot fair. And it's nice to have the weather good enough that boot fairs have started up again, because it's a good source of vinyl generally. And first stall I came to, digging through a box, and I saw a copy of Aircut by Curved Air, which I think is the last of their albums I needed in my collection. It's one I've been after for a while, and probably is my favourite of their albums, to be honest. It's a really great album. And this is a lovely copy on the Green Warner label. So that was 5 quid. And then in the same box, I couldn't believe this, I've been after this for a while, Country Funk's self-titled album from I think 70 or 71, 70 I think. And this is neither country nor funk, it is kind of rural rock with lots of fuzz guitar. Really interesting album. Yes, definitely kind of then Buffalo Springfield sort of vibe going on here, that kind of thing. So the psychedelic end of that kind of 70s rural rock. This is a copy that was obviously part of the BBC gramophone library. These are turning up all the time, not this title, but I mean ex-BBC records. I know the BBC had a big auction last year of a lot of its vinyl stock. And I thought about bidding on some stuff, but didn't get round to it. But it's turning up for sale everywhere at the moment. I think people find it quite hard to get rid of because people are fussy about having stickers all over their album sleeves. I don't mind that at all. I think it's part of its history. And I like the fact that you can see that this was catalogued in August 1970. And by the time it was deleted, no one had played it. No DJs had gone into the record library and thought, oh, I'll give that a spin, I'll play that on my show today. So the record's basically mint. Apart from all the stickers on it, the sleeve is in great shape as well. I have had a couple of other items from the BBC Gramophone library recently, and some of them come with a PVC sleeve, which seems to be glued onto the original artwork, so you can't remove it. And as we're starting to find out, those PVC sleeves leach chemicals onto the records and over time can cause some real problems with them. So I'm avoiding any of those that have the PVC sleeve attached to them. But this one, fortunately, it's just stickers, so I'm more than happy with this. And like I say, an album I've been after for a while. Really good album. And not one I was expecting to find at a boot fair in West London, to be honest. But I paid 15 quid for that, so I'm very happy. So that is a selection of my recent finds from boot fairs and record fairs. I've got a whole bunch of stuff I've got elsewhere, and I may well get around to showing those at some point, but it's good to be back. Hope you missed me, and no promises, but, you know, I'll call you. Bye for now.